Hi guys, it's Kino. Welcome to another video. So in today's pick a card reading, we're going to be getting some messages and advice from Spirit with regards to what it is time for you to let go of. So we're going to ask Spirit what is currently in your life that is no longer serving you, that is not in alignment with your highest good, and why you need to let go of this, whether it is a connection, a group, a community, a goal, a habit, a way of thinking, a place, or maybe even multiple things. Whatever it might be, we're going to ask Spirit to bring that to our attention, let us know why it's not working anymore, and get some advice on how we can truly let go and move on. So there are 3 readings for you guys to choose from today. I'm going to show you each of these crystals one by one, and please pick whichever one you feel drawn to the most. You can also choose more than one if you do feel drawn to several. Spirit might have a lot of messages for you today, so you definitely don't have to limit yourself. But without further ado, let's get a close-up look at each of your options. Number 1s, you have Rubellite in Albite. Number 2s, you have this Seashell Heart. And number 3s, you have Celeste. Okay, so as always, take all the time you need to pick. You can pause the video if you need to. I'm gonna go ahead and get started with number 1. Hi number 1s, so if you guys chose the Rubellite in Albite, this is going to be a reading all about what you need to let go of right now. So we're going to start off the reading by pulling some tarot cards from the Lucid Dreams tarot deck and seeing what it is that Spirit is encouraging you to let go of this time and why. And then we're going to use this oracle deck, the Soul Whispers Oracle, to get any additional messages and advice that Spirit wants you to know about this situation or just about life in general. So before we get into it, I did want to talk a little bit about these 2 decks. They make up the KINO Tarot Fall Bundle that is available on tarotstack.com. If you guys are not familiar with Tarot Stack, they're an online shop that features tarot and oracle decks from independent artists, and I have been working with them and using the decks that they carry ever since the beginning, and it's been such an honor. First of all, they're lovely people, and it's been such an honor to watch their business grow and to watch them carry more selection, to partner up with more and more independent artists. And I just love what they stand for. First of all, getting these beautiful decks to be available to us, but also supporting the independent creators. So 50% of Tarot Stack's profits go towards funding indie deck projects. So they help the creators print their deck, publish it, market it, which I just think is so cool. Obviously, as a tarot reader, I really appreciate the work that they do. And you guys have definitely, if you're familiar with my channel, you've definitely seen a lot of the decks on my channel that were sent from them. So I'm really grateful that we're able to partner together on this. And if you guys do enjoy the decks that are being used today, the bundle as well as the individual decks will be linked down below. So let's get right into it. Without further ado, we're going to start off with the Lucid Dreams tarot deck. And so what I want to do for this part is I'm going to pull a row of 3 cards to see what Spirit is asking you to let go of, and then there will be a row of clarifying cards underneath, which could include information like why it's time to let go, or how we can let go, or how this will improve your life. And I'm going to use reversals for this reading because this deck has keywords depending on which direction the card comes out, and I want to use that feature. So for this deck, we're going to take reversals. Okay, so my group number 1s. What is it that group number 1s need to let go of at this time? So we have the 5 of Wands: conflict, disagreements, tension, sport, diversity, rivalry, challenges, obstacles, competition, aggression, and clash of egos. Okay, then we have strength in reverse. self-doubt, inner turmoil, low self-esteem, vulnerability, lack of confidence, feelings of inadequacy and inadequacy. And then we have the Seven of Pentacles in reverse. Lack of long-term visions, lack of reward, impatience, giving up too soon, lazy, setbacks, low effort, waste, and lack of growth. Okay, so there's a couple things that I'm noticing right off the bat. For one, there's quite a bit of Leo energy present here. So 2 out of the 3 cards that came out do have Leo energy. And then we have some Taurus energy here as well. So you could have Leo or Taurus placements, or there could be a significant person in your life who has these placements. But also what I'm noticing is that all 3 of these cards have fixed sign energy, because Leo and Taurus are both fixed signs. So this thing that Spirit is asking you to let go of, it does seem like something that you have been pretty fixated on, or that you are holding on to very, very tightly. I'm getting the feeling of like there's something that it's like you really want to make it work, but Spirit is saying that holding on and trying to make things work would cause you unnecessary pain, or will cause you more pain than it is worth. And I also want to mention that when I was shuffling this deck, the cards did seem a little bit messy. Like they were shuffling in kind of a messy way. And I do pay attention to how decks physically behave when I'm shuffling them. So it does seem like you guys could be in a kind of complicated situation. I am sort of getting the feeling that this has to do with relationships. So there could be a relationship that you're very conflicted about, where sometimes you feel like you can make things work, and then other times you feel like there's no hope. Sometimes you feel angry towards someone, and then other times you feel like you want to forgive them and make things work. This is kind of the vibe that I'm getting from these energies. And I think that this 5 of Wands could be talking about conflict that you have with someone else, but I also think that it's talking about an inner conflict that you have. So a couple things that came to my mind about what you might need to let go of is, I do think for many of you this has to do with a relationship. I feel like there's someone in your life that you are kind of fundamentally incompatible. Like you have different values, or you want different things in the relationship. There may be some things that like you think are a really big deal and really upsetting, and then they think it's not a big deal, and vice versa. So then you end up like miscommunicating, or you end up hurting each other, or someone may have committed like done you wrong in this relationship, and that's really put a dent in your trust, or really put a dent in like your potential for the future. It feels like Spirit is wanting you to let go of this, but there's a part of you that keeps fighting that is like, maybe we can work through our differences, maybe we can make things work, maybe we can forgive each other. But I feel like what's happening here is that you are the one who is sacrificing your boundaries and expectations. With this Strength card in reverse, with this like self-doubt, lack of confidence, low self-esteem, it's giving me the feeling of someone who, like, their boundary was violated, someone really upset them, but they're trying to forgive them because they either feel like that's what they have to do, or they don't value their own boundaries enough to like stand up for them. So they're like, oh, well, maybe this boundary is not a big deal to me. Like, sure, they crossed my boundary, but maybe that's not such a big deal for me. Or maybe I don't even have this boundary. Like, maybe it's like trying to convince yourself that it wasn't really a big deal, trying to convince yourself that it didn't really upset you, that you can move on from it because you're trying so much to accommodate the other person and make it like, but the truth is that they did do something wrong, or they did cross a boundary that you have, or there is an expectation that they didn't meet. And boundaries can have to do with like what you accept and don't accept people doing to you, but it can also be boundaries like, I don't want to have a relationship with someone who has this value. I don't want to have a relationship with someone who has this like belief or this mindset. So yes, it can be about actions, like you hurt me in this way, you did this to me and I can't forgive that. But it's also about like your preferences and your expectations and the type of people you want to have in your life. And it seems like there's someone that you are kind of like bending over backwards to accommodate the ways in which they don't meet your expectations. Like, oh yeah, they ignored me or they haven't spoken to me in this much time, but like that's okay. Maybe they're going through something, when in the reality, your boundary or your preference in relationships is like, I want someone who is consistent. And it's like this person doesn't match what you want, what you expect, what your boundaries are, but you have formed some sort of attachment to them. So it's hard to be open and be like, no, they crossed this boundary. Like, no, this is not the type of person I want in my life. I'm really getting that feeling. And with the Seven of Pentacles in reverse, this can indicate something that is maybe not worth the effort, or that is not, it's not going to bear fruit, right? Because when we have this in the upright, it's like, this is going to take some hard work, but it will be worth the time and the effort. And I feel like Spirit is saying that you might be, it's like you're using all this effort to disregard your own boundaries and expectations and to accommodate someone else, is the feeling that I'm getting. Another thing that came to my mind with this is like, it may not even be with one specific person, but just in general. And this is something that I do a lot because I tend to be quite impressionable. So, and like assume that I'm wrong and the other person is right. That's just kind of what I assume. So if someone like criticizes or like says something negative or says that I'm this way or that way, my gut reaction is to try to think of how they could be right and how I could be wrong and how like I'm the one who needs to change, or, you know, that kind of thing. So maybe Spirit is asking you to let go of that. It's like an urge to appease the other person or please the other person or make things more convenient to accommodate that person. So we just kind of shut up about what our boundaries are. It's like we would go through so much pain to make someone else uncomfortable, but then we don't want to speak up about what's bothering us because we don't want to give them like the slightest inconvenience. This is kind of the feeling that I'm getting. So let's take some clarifiers. What else does group number 1 need to know about this situation? Okay, so we have the Knight of Wands, courageous, energetic, charming, passion, adventure, free-spirited, hero, impulsive, rebellious, hot-tempered, and drive. Okay, we can take both of these. Then we have the Six of Swords and the Ace of Wands. So we have transitions, leaving behind, moving on to calmer waters, distance, and accepting lessons. Then we have new project, inspiration, ignited passion, new opportunities, growth, potential, energy, creative spark, new initiative, and enthusiasm. Wow. So it looks like Spirit is communicating to us why it's important that you let go of this energy, or what will happen when you do let go of this. I think it's really cool how the Six of Swords and the Ace of Wands came out together. And they came out in such a way that the Six of Swords person is traveling towards the Ace of Wands. This literally talks about leaving things behind, moving on to calmer waters, you know, like accepting lessons. You're learning the lesson from the situation and you're moving on to a new exciting beginning. I think something that's going to happen when you let go of this energy, because I honestly do think that this situation has been very draining, and I feel like in some ways you've put your own desires for yourself and your own passions in the back seat to make something work. For some of you guys, this could be a long distance relationship that it's like you're trying really hard to make it work, but you're sacrificing too much. Or maybe like you are in a relationship and you want to accept an opportunity in a faraway place, but you're like, I don't want to leave this relationship behind. Like, I don't want to get into a long distance relationship. And Spirit's kind of saying that maybe this relationship is holding you back, when really your soul wants to move to uncharted waters, wants to explore new opportunities. There's just a feeling of stifling yourself or holding yourself back because you want to make it work with someone or with several people. Like, I don't want to leave them behind, or there's this kind of feeling, but there's really new beautiful opportunities waiting for you if you move on from this energy, but also like let go of this mental and emotional burden. There's a feeling of stifling yourself, and when you're able to move on, you'll be exploding with creativity, exploding with zest for life. You'll be more spontaneous, you'll be more carefree, like you have a creative spark that is coming back, you have passion, enthusiasm, physical energy that is coming back. Because you're not worrying about this, you have more energy to put into your projects and your creative endeavors. Some of you guys might be starting over in a new place. If you are thinking of that, then the confirmation is here. With this Knight of Wands, I really feel this is Spirit saying that you guys have so much potential and you can really accomplish anything that you set out to in this life. And I feel like some situation, whether this is like a relationship with one person or just like the people around you in general, it's like you kind of forget what you're capable of, how talented you are, how much potential you have. There is a little bit of a feeling of making yourself smaller. And it's not necessarily that they're directly asking you to make yourself smaller, but I do feel that this group has a habit of doing that, of like putting that need to accommodate other people first. And there's this part of your soul that's like, I just want to go off and do my own thing, and I want to pursue my own passions and be independent and be unapologetic about it. I mean, this takes a lot of courage as well. This is like embarking on a brand new journey. So we could also be really holding on to this strongly because it feels safe. It feels like something we know well. We've gotten used to it and we don't really know what our life will look like without it. But taking this new adventure will definitely lead to rewards. I think that you guys are extremely loving and passionate and committed people. And Spirit definitely doesn't want you to change that about yourself, but to channel that loving, passionate, and committed energy into something that really serves you and serves your growth. It's very possible to love and serve others while also taking care of ourselves, but I feel like this is a situation where it's difficult to do that. It's almost like you have to choose putting yourself first or taking care of this relationship or this situation. And just this bottom energy looks so much like a new exciting adventure, a new leap of faith that really brings back your spark for life, your creative spark. So let's take a look at some oracle cards now. We're going to pull a few cards from the Soul Whispers deck. What else does Spirit want you to know? What other messages or advice does Spirit have for group number ones? Promise to love yourself fully, and we have the number 33, which is amazing. This might be a number that you guys have been seeing, or if you do see this number, I think it means that Spirit is with you, that Spirit has your back, and that whatever steps you take, Spirit is going to assure your success. Especially if you're taking action from a place of loving yourself and looking out for yourself. With this hand here, some of you guys, you might be good at doing something with your hands, and Spirit is encouraging you to pursue this, like playing an instrument or making art or building things. There's so many different things, like even tarot cards. You can literally only see my hands. This is something I do with my hands. That could be Spirit's little advice of what you're being called to pursue. 33 could also be a significant age. Maybe you are 33 or this age is coming up for you, and that's going to be a really significant year. But 33 is the number of the Empress, and I feel like that just fits so well for the energy of this group, because the Empress is so full of unconditional love and it flows from her freely. And I feel like this is a situation that brings resistance to your life or brings blockages to your life, and it doesn't feel like the love flows freely. And I think that when you're really in the flow of life, you will feel that difference. And Spirit is saying this is it's like this is your natural habitat. This is the state that you're meant to be in. Like being in the flow, having things come to you easily. This is how things are meant to be. Blessings are meant to flow effortlessly to you. That doesn't mean that you won't work hard. That doesn't mean that there won't be challenges, but it means that anything you come up against, it's like a no-brainer to do it because there's so much love there, because it's so fulfilling for you. And this number makes me think of abundance, prosperity, expansion, manifesting your heart's desires. Like there's such beautiful blessings waiting out there for you if you just let go of what doesn't feel good and allow things that do feel good to come in. I remember hearing this somewhere, like asking yourself, in any situation, asking yourself, what would someone who loves themselves do? We also have, okay, so 6 might be an important number as well, because we have 6 here and then 33, which of course adds up to 6. And that could also be an indication that this really is like a matter of relationships, because the number 6 relates to the Lovers, which, as you can probably tell, is about relationships, but it's also about important choices. Important choices that we have to make in our relationships, whom we want to keep around, whom contributes to our growth, and who we've maybe outgrown or who we're maybe not in alignment with. I also think this is really cool. This kind of looks like a zoomed in image of what is in the hand, because on the hand we see this crescent moon and there's a mountain, and then it's almost like when we zoom in, we can see that there's 2 people standing on top of the mountain and like looking at the moon. I think Spirit is really encouraging you guys to kind of take a closer look at the types of relationships you have in your life. And it's almost like, when I look at this image, it's almost like, who would walk up the heights of this mountain with me? Who would walk up this steep mountain with me? Who is willing to go the whole journey, the whole 9 yards? Who can I really see with me in the long haul? Who do I trust to climb this big steep mountain? Who do I know would go with me till the end, who wouldn't leave me behind? What kind of people would someone who loves themselves keep around in their life? It says, this moment will be a mere memory one day. Are you making the most of it? I almost get a feeling from that message like life is too short to hold on to anything that brings us resistance, inner conflict, that just doesn't feel good deep down. It's like, who are we really doing that for? Who are we really holding on for? So I think on one hand, this is saying like life is too short, but it's also saying that, you know, letting go or taking a leap of faith, it's always uncomfortable, it's always scary, and sometimes it's quite painful. But that moment will pass, and one day it will just be a moment in history that you can look back at with pride, that you took the courageous step, that you took a step for you. It's the feeling of this too shall pass. It's the feeling of time heals everything. Okay, and then we'll take these two as well. You are whole. You don't need anyone to complete you. You will always be whole. And, ooh, okay. I was wondering what number the strength card has in this deck, because sometimes strength is number 8, sometimes it's number 11. In this one, it's 8. So I feel like this sentiment matches with the strength card. You are whole. You don't need anyone to complete you. You will always be whole. And then if we look at this strength card in the upright, it says self-love and respect, unconditional love, courage, inner strength, influence, compassion, persuasion, and inner stillness. So this card is asking you to be strong, and we have the number 8 here, and we have this infinity symbol on top of her head. I feel like 8 is your number in some way. Like this is your soul's number. This is how your soul communicates to you. You guys might be born in August or born on the 8th, or maybe you're a life path 8, or you have a lot of 8th house placements. It feels like this number is significant for you guys. Or like, for example, me, I'm born on April 4. So like my birth date, 4/4 adds up to 8. So, you know, what would that be? Like May 3rd, June 2nd, you know, January 7th, birthdays that add up to 8. Anyway, I love how these messages go together, because this is really a journey of coming to love and respect yourself and love yourself unconditionally and have the courage to move in the direction of a life that feels good for you and to make that the biggest priority. And I'm gonna leave this strength card in the upright because I feel like it's like a sign of what you can become, or it's a sign of who you truly are on the inside that's waiting to come out. And then we have everyone in your life is teaching you something. Are you learning? So I think it's really important in this situation to not hold judgment for anyone, for yourself, or for anyone involved, because we're all just learning. And I do think that the significant relationships we have, we really do choose each other. We choose to come into each other's lives to teach us something. And if you've learned something from an experience or from a relationship, and I just saw 2626, which adds up to 8 again, and we also have 25 here. So 25, 26 could be like important ages, as well as 33. But I was saying, if you have learned something from the experience, then it's not a waste of time, and there is no need. Everything is unfolding perfectly, and there's no need to hold any judgment. We're speaking about you becoming this empress, the empress that you've always been, but maybe you needed this experience to fully become this empress, or maybe you needed this experience to remind you that you are an empress. So I guess this card wants you to know, or spirit wants you to know, that there's no need to have any regret or to be hard on yourself or to think about like how things could have happened differently, because I do feel like at the end of the day, everything does happen exactly as it's meant to. And it's never too late to embark on this new journey. And in fact, whenever you do, that's going to be the perfect time. You are so protected and you're so lovingly guided that you could not stray away from the blessings that are meant for you. And if you did, the universe is so endlessly abundant that they will just create the same blessing for you again and again until you find it. So I just hope that you don't have any fear of like you've wasted time or you've lost opportunities. Like maybe in the case that this is like a long distance relationship or a relationship in general, maybe you did already like pass up an opportunity to make this relationship work and now you're like regretting it, or you worry that you're gonna regret it. This would be the universe saying like, we can create the same or similar opportunities for you again and again and again. We have all the time in the world for you, and we would never like revoke a blessing that is so significant to you just because, oh, too slow, like you took too much time. And I feel like this came out in a previous reading we did with this bundle as well. It was something similar, and the Empress card was there as well. If you guys did happen to choose that group, then that's definitely a really, really important thing for you guys to know. So there's no need to beat yourself up of like, oh, I should have like figured this out sooner. Like I sacrificed so much for this, or I missed this and this opportunity for this, because everything that is meant for you, it will come back around no matter how many times it takes, because what is meant for you, like that's yours, that's your birthright. It's not gonna lose sight of you. Your blessings know where they're supposed to go. They have your name on it, they have your address on it, and they're gonna find you. So I just want to close off with that reassurance that it's not too late, it's not too early. Everything is fine. Everything is fine, and you're gonna be fine. And the lessons, like, you had to go through this to learn lessons. It wasn't a waste, it wasn't in vain. And you'll see that all of this worked out for you. Okay, so group number ones, these are all the messages I have for you. So I'm going to end your reading here. I want to say thank you again so much to Tarot Stack for partnering with me to create this fall bundle. And thank you so much as well to the creators of these decks. They're absolutely gorgeous. They work so well together, and they're really lovely tools to provide gentle guidance. So thank you so much to everyone involved. If you guys enjoy these decks, the bundle as well as the individual decks will be linked down below. And thank you so much for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. And if you enjoy my content here on YouTube, you can also find me on Instagram. I post weekly pick a card readings and new moon and full moon readings. You can also find me on Patreon, where I post exclusive pick a card readings every month, and the topics are decided by you, by the patrons. And I also have a music channel. The song that you guys heard at the very start of this video was an original song, so if you're interested in listening to the full version of that song or any of my other ones, the music channel is down below. And I also have KINO Tarot merch. We have hoodies, mugs, tote bags, sweatshirts, which feature the floating temple that's in the intro of this video. So all of that is going to be linked down below if you guys enjoy my content and you want to view it or support me in another way. Thank you so much for being here. Once again, I truly appreciate your support, and I'm sending you so much love and so much love to your spiritual team as well. And I just know that everything is going to turn out great for this group. I'm sending you energetic hugs and kisses and so much love. Thank you so much, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye bye. Hi number twos, so if you guys chose the Seashell Heart, this is going to be your reading. So I just want to explain briefly how the reading is going to go. I do want to leave it kind of open to whatever messages Spirit wants to give you, but basically we're going to start off with the Lucid Dreams Tarot deck and find out what it is that Spirit is encouraging you to let go of at this time, and then we'll get some additional information which could include why it's time to let go of this, how to let go of this, or how your life is going to change when you let go. And then we're going to use the Soul Whispers Oracle deck to get any other messages or advice that Spirit wants to bring you. So before we get into it, I just wanted to briefly talk about these decks. These two decks are part of the KINO Tarot Fall Bundle, which is available on tarotstack.com. If you guys aren't familiar with Tarot Stack, they're an online store that features decks, tarot and oracle decks from independent creators, and I have been partnering with them since the beginning, and it's been such an honor to watch them grow. It's been a pleasure to work with them. They are such lovely people. And I'm just really proud of them and how much they've expanded, and I love what they stand for. Not only having these decks be more accessible to us, but also the support that they provide for the creators. At this time, 50% of Tarot Stack's profits go towards funding indie deck projects. So they help creators get their decks printed, get them published, get them marketed, and I just really love how they give back to the tarot community like that, and I love their collection. You guys, if you watch videos on my channel, you've definitely seen a lot of the decks that they carry. So if you guys like the decks that are being used today, both the bundle and the individual decks will be linked down below. But yeah, that is all. So let's get into it. We're going to start off with the Lucid Dreams Tarot and see what it is that this group needs to let go of right now. Okay, what does group number 2 need to let go of at this time? Okay, one thing that's coming to my mind right away, I don't know if the deck was in the frame just now, but when I'm shuffling this deck, it's shuffling a lot quicker and a lot neater than group number 1, so I'm really feeling that contrast between like the energies of how the deck was behaving. So what I'm feeling for this group is that the thing you need to let go of, you are pretty aware of this already. You may even be in the process of letting go of this already, or you're like on the verge of doing it and you're pretty sure that that's what you need to do, but there's just a little bit of fear or a little bit of uncertainty that might be holding you back. And so this reading is likely going to be a confirmation for you guys, but I'm sort of getting the visual of someone who's like on a high diving board and they're like standing right at the edge, and you know, deep down they've made up their mind that they want to take this leap, but they're just kind of, maybe they're kind of stalling it, you know, there's people behind them like, hurry up. And I'm not saying spirit's rushing you at all, but it's that feeling of like, I know that I'm gonna do it, you know, I know that I'm gonna do it. I'm just a little bit scared, so I'm standing here for a little bit longer. That's the feeling that I'm getting from this group. Woo, that's a lot. Okay, so we're starting off with the 3 of Cups in reverse. We have independence, third-party situations, scandal, gossip, over-partying, no support, solitude, being forced to conform, and lack of time for others. Then we have the 8 of Swords in the upright, self-imposed prison of thoughts, limiting and negative thoughts, victim mentality, trapped, helpless, powerlessness, and victim. And then we have the Ace of Pentacles in the upright, new material offer, new job or promotion, new opportunity, new manifestation, resources, stability, and prosperity. Okay. I should have known, you know, the deck is always so deliberate with how it behaves. And as you guys saw, before we got these 3 cards coming out, there was like a bunch that just flew out all at the same time. And that was meaningful as well. That wasn't like, oh, that was a mistake, let's just take that away. I do believe that all of those cards fell out for a reason. And that is spirit saying that there's actually multiple things that this group, that it's time for you to let go of. There's a lot of stuff. For group number 1, like all 3 of these cards were kind of talking about the same thing, but I feel like for this group, we are going to be getting a lot of things that you need to let go of. So I'm just going to go through them in order, and please feel free to claim any of them or all of them. But the first thing that I'm seeing with this independence is that it might be time for you guys to, first of all, move out. Like, for example, if you're living with roommates or living with parents or whatever your living situation might be, it might be time for you to finally take the move and live on your own. This could also be referring to like leaving a certain group, a certain company behind and doing something more independent, especially because we have the Ace of Pentacles here and the 8 of Swords. Seems like Spirit's trying to bless you guys with amazing career opportunities, with an abundant future, but you're kind of scared to go for it, and maybe like you're holding yourself back, you think that you're not fit for it, you think that you're not ready for it, you're kind of making yourself smaller. Maybe you feel like your current position is like the best that you can get, or you're just kind of scared of walking away. But there's this feeling of like fear is holding you back from greater abundance. Fear is holding you back from independence, from financial freedom, perhaps self-employment. Fear is holding you back from pursuing the career that you really want to pursue. This is kind of the feeling that I'm getting. Some of you guys may also need to let go a friend or a certain friend group. That's what I feel with the Three of Cups in the reverse. Especially if you guys have any friendships that are sort of centered around like gossip and partying, like we have here, or just kind of more surface level things. And with this being forced to conform, I'm getting the feeling of someone who, which is you, who it's like you have felt the need to conform to certain friend groups, even though what they might do or what they might talk about is not really your vibe. So let's say, for example, you're in college and all anyone wants to do is just like drink and party. And maybe deep down, that's not really your thing, but you're like, if I don't do this, it's gonna kind of be hard to make friends because, this is just what everyone's doing. So it's like there might be some activities or habits that you've engaged in socially that were just kind of to like fit in or conform. And Spirit's saying that we need to cut that out because it's not making you happy and like this isn't really you. Maybe some of you guys are giving up drinking or smoking, like it's time to let go of some kind of unhealthy habits. And you might have to change your social situation, even if like, it's not that they're bad people or anything like that, but if you're giving up drinking and then all of your friends love drinking, that's going to be a little bit difficult. And I feel like some of you guys, you might even find as you change your habits, you drift apart with some people and you're kind of left to think like, damn, is this really all we had in common? Like, is this really the thing that kept us together? One day you might be like, ever since I stopped drinking, like I haven't heard from Casey in months, like we haven't hung out. And then maybe you realize like, oh, it's because we just drank whenever we hang out and that was like all we did. So it's like some habits that you've outgrown, that were never really in alignment with you, and that might kind of change your social sphere a little bit. So yeah, that's what I'm seeing from the Three of Cups with reverse. Also with third party situations, this is going to be very specific, but if you are in any type of third party situation, Spirit is saying that it's time to let that go. So like if you're interested in someone but they're like dating someone or they're married to someone else, or if there's like, or if you're if you're the third person, or if your like partner or person of interest has a third party, like we have to move on from that. Like Spirit is saying you deserve better than that. You deserve to be someone's first choice. Of course, if you're in a polyamorous situation, that's a whole other story, so just ignore me. But for those of you who are monogamous and you're like entertaining someone who has another person, or you're the other person, I feel like it is just not going to end well. And I think that you deserve a lot better than that. So moving on here to the Eight of Swords, we're definitely letting go of thoughts that have been holding us back. And I think that sort of the common, I just saw 1010 when I looked up. So new beginnings and endless possibilities. That's what the number 10 tells me. I think you guys have a lot more potential and possibilities for your future than you might realize. And I feel like one thing that might be keeping you where you are is these kind of limiting thoughts that maybe it won't work out if you move on, or you won't find something better, or you can't get something better than what you currently have. This was actually something that kept me in a job for a long time, because I never thought that I would be able to make anywhere near what I did in my job at the time on YouTube. I didn't think that my channel would ever grow that much. I also didn't really know like how much you could make from the partner program. Like it was just my assumptions. Like, oh, there's no way YouTube's ever gonna like pay the bills or make more than my job. So I kind of held back from quitting for a very long time. And now, like, joke's on past me because I'm way more abundant than I ever was. And I'm like, I can't believe there was a time I thought that this was not possible for me. And it's really like, you just never know. You just never know until you try, until you go for it. And I think that this group has some thoughts of like, I couldn't do better than where I am now, whether that's like, I won't find a better paying job, or I won't find better friends, or I won't find a love interest who makes me feel the same way. And like, Spirit's just saying that these thoughts are really, really keeping you in your own prison. We also have here like powerlessness and victim mentality. So some of you guys might have the tendency, I think in general, it's like you don't realize how powerful you are, but you might have the tendency of like pitying yourself or feeling like there's nothing you can do. And I'm not saying that with any judgment at all, because I know what it's like to have those thoughts. But you know, we can get into the habit of, you know, blaming the universe that our life is a certain way, like the universe is punishing me, or like it's this person's fault that I'm in this situation. And that's not to say that you haven't been wronged or that you haven't been dealt a hard hand. So this is not me being like, I don't care what your situation is like, just get up and do it and be positive. Like, I don't want it to come across like that at all. But I think that Spirit is reminding you, no matter what situation you're in, you always have some power to make it better with the choices that you make. And it might not feel like much at first, but those choices that you make will compound. And over time, they will create a better life for you, the best life that you can possibly have. And with this Ace of Pentacles, I truly think that there's some financial offer or some career opportunity that's going to come from you letting go of unhealthy habits, letting go of habits that perhaps distracted you from your goals, or that took away your time, took away your money, took away your energy. Opportunities that your limiting beliefs held you back from. There's some, like a job offer, or you're going to be very successful in your own endeavors that you pursue. I'm seeing this Ace of Pentacles as like what's waiting for you on the other side. So let's take another row of cards to get more messages. What else does number 2 need to know? We have the Page of Cups, idealism, dreamer, sensitivity, naivety, innocence, inner child, intuitive messages, curiosity, possibilities, head in the clouds. We have the 5 of Cups, regret, failure, disappointment, grief, pessimism, feeling abandoned or unloved, loss, sadness, mourning, and discontent. And then we have the Hierophant, spiritual wisdom, religious beliefs, traditions, convention, conformity, education, knowledge, and belief systems. So I'm going to read this bottom deck as like clarifiers of the card above it. Starting off with the Page of Cups here, I really think that this is representing you guys. Honestly, I feel like you guys are so incredibly compassionate and sweet and kind to everyone. And I think that it's truly in your nature. Like, your default is to be loving and trusting towards people and to see the good in everyone. And I think that Spirit is wanting you to bring a little bit of nuance into the situation where we say, it's possible for me to see the good in you and to have love for you and to wish you the best, but that doesn't mean that it's in my best interest to make space for you or to accommodate you, or I don't have to be your friend. I can say that you're an amazing person and I wish all the best for you, and even I love you as a fellow human here on this earth, but as a human, you physically cannot make space for everyone in your life because we only have 24 hours in a day and we only have so much mental and emotional capacity. As a soul, it is much easier to love everyone and to be in union with everyone and to just love everyone unconditionally. And I think your soul has a lot of fond memories of its home, of that place where there was just union and everything was love. But the reality of being a human is that we do need to be discerning. And I think that in the past, or maybe even now, you've had people in your life that are not really great for you. And again, it's not that they're bad people, they're just not best for you and, you know, what you want as a human and your personality as a human. And maybe they don't treat you super great as well. But there's that unconditionally loving and compassionate part of your soul that's like, yeah, but they are a really good person in this way. And yes, that's probably true. But you don't have to make so much space for them. So I feel like that's what the Page of Cups is saying. Like, let's bring nuance to this situation. I think even like from when you were a child, you've just always been so loving and trusting and like wanting to show compassion to everyone and make space for everyone. But we have to be a little bit more discerning about the types of energies that we let around us. Again, not saying your energy is bad, not saying you're inherently toxic, but it's like what is contributing to my growth and what is not. What is in alignment with my highest good and what is not. So just because we might be distancing ourselves from some people or setting boundaries, it doesn't mean we're saying they're a bad person. It doesn't mean we're saying they're not deserving of love or anything like that. And you don't have to feel guilty about it, or you don't have to feel like you're lacking compassion for that person, because it's really not that. It's that we can't show compassion to other people at our own expense. And we're just starting to, I think, see that gray area and see that nuance and understand that at the end of the day, you literally do have to put yourself first. Like, that's not a luxury. That's not like, oh, self-love, self-care. It's like, no, we have to do that. We have to look out for ourselves so that we can show up as the best version of ourselves. So next, clarifying the Eight of Swords, we have the Five of Cups. This can be interpreted in a couple of different ways, but the Five of Cups has to do with loss, sadness, rejection. One of the reasons you guys could be holding yourselves back right now is because you may have gone through a failure or a disappointment in the past, and like your ego doesn't want to repeat that. So for example, if you're holding yourself back from a career opportunity, from pursuing something, you might have these memories from the past that are kind of haunting you, of like that time you tried before and you failed, or that time you put yourself out there and people laughed at you. Like, there might be some kind of, I want to say perceived failure, because it's not a failure if you learned something, and it's not a failure unless you stop trying. I know that sounds kind of cheesy, but it's true. Like some perceived failure like that might be holding you back, or it is just that you're afraid of the loss. The truth is that Spirit will never take something away unless they're going to replace it with something better. But I feel like at this point, your awareness might only be on that perceived loss that you're experiencing, rather than what you can receive instead. And that's the whole thing with the Five of Cups, is that the person is focusing on the cups that are spilled and not on the cups that are upright. So if I use myself as an example, you know, quitting my job and, you know, becoming a YouTuber, like, I'm only, at that time, I was only focusing on like the salary that I was losing. And that was really holding me back, because I didn't realize that, you know, Spirit would not take that away unless something even greater would be put in its place. I didn't see these cups that were standing up. I didn't see like the gain. I only saw the loss. So there was like a bias. There was a focus on the negative. So it's like a fear of loss or a fear of rejection, I think, that is causing this Eight of Swords and that is holding you guys back. But with this Ace of Pentacles here and the Hierophant, you really have the potential to be in a position of authority to be in charge of your life. We had that message of independence there, to really become the best at what you do and to live a life that is in alignment with your higher self. I'm hearing like you have the potential to become the most, or one of the most knowledgeable, reputable, and reliable of your field. So for example, if you're becoming a tarot reader, like you're the one that everyone thinks, oh, like group 2's readings are the most accurate, or like group 2 has the best knowledge of tarot, group 2 has the most spiritual knowledge. Of course, you can apply that to any field, but like it's a very strong reputation. People count on you. People feel that you're extremely wise. People come to you for advice. You're highly regarded. You're in high demand. I feel like the Hierophant is also hinting that there's some career path that Spirit wants you to pursue because it is very much in alignment with your higher self. Or I should say your higher self wants you to pursue it. But maybe you don't see that you have the potential to be this very knowledgeable, highly reputable, highly, like, have a lot of authority type of person. You might feel a little bit of imposter syndrome when it comes to pursuing what you want to pursue. Some of you guys, this might involve going back to school or getting advice from an expert, from some sort of counselor. But let's get on to the oracle cards now. Let's see what else Spirit wants you to know. What else does group number 2 need to know? Okay, so we have the number 22. Dissolve your ego by going within. This is kind of funny because just a minute ago, when I was talking about the Hierophant, I looked up at the camera and the time was at like 22:23. And so I was like, oh, I just missed 22:22. Like I was 1 second off. And there was a part of me that thought maybe I should talk about 22:22, but then I didn't. And now 22's here, so maybe I was supposed to talk about it. But the feeling that it gave me when I almost saw it on the camera timer, oh, for some of you, it might be like one of your limiting beliefs is thinking that you missed your chance at something. Because when I looked up and saw 22:23, I was like, damn it, like I just missed the angel number. I had that kind of thought in my mind. So some of you guys might feel like it's too late for you or like you've missed a chance, and Spirit's saying that that's not true. But 22:22, the number 2 has to do with like partnerships or just other people. And it was making me think of like comparison. So comparison might be something that holds you guys back as well. Especially, you know, feeling like you couldn't be taken seriously in this position or feeling imposter syndrome. You might look at other people doing what you want to do and think that, oh, they're so together. They really know what they're doing. They're so knowledgeable. They're so talented. Like I could never. And Spirit wants you to know that you're not so different. You're not so different from them. You have just the same amount of potential. You have just the same amount of capability. The only difference is that they went for it. And if you go for it, you will find your success as well. I also think with this dissolve your ego by going within, ego could be a really big thing that's holding you back. Like when we talk about comparison, when we talk about a fear of failure, these are very ego-driven thoughts. And it's like Spirit is encouraging you to take your ego out of the equation. So if I use myself as an example, maybe I could say like, oh, I wanna start this tarot channel, but there's no way I'm as good at it as this person, or you know, this person or this person. And what if people leave negative comments, or what if people don't like me, or what if I don't get a lot of views? Like, I'm not saying that it's bad to think about these things, or that you're bad for thinking these things, but they all have to do with our ego. Whereas if we take that out of the picture and we say, oh, it seems like Spirit's calling me to start a channel because I might be able to channel messages that are valuable for the collective. Like, it's not about me. It's not about proving myself. It's about helping Spirit get these messages out. And I think both are important. Like, obviously you want personal fulfillment and you want recognition, but when that gets out of balance and there's too much focus on that, it can really freeze us because we're so afraid. Our ego's very afraid of like looking bad and failing and stuff like that. But if we put the scales back into balance and we remember the importance of like, this is like Spirit's will for me. This is the work of Spirit. Like, I'm doing this to serve the collective and to connect with the collective. I feel like that will help you be less afraid or help you be less nervous, help you take things less personally. What else do we have for group number 3? We're all just trying to get back to where we came from. Wow. I think there's something about what you do that's really going to lead people home and remind people the truth of who they are. I definitely think that this Page of Cups is such a beautiful trait of you. Like, from such a young age, I feel like you guys have truly felt the oneness in the world. You felt that we're not so different from each other, that there's no need for us to be in conflict with each other. And I genuinely feel like you guys have had so much love for life and for Spirit and for the earth and for the beings on the earth. And Spirit doesn't want you to lose that. And I think that whatever it is that you're doing, you're really reminding people of this truth. And there's something about you're leading people home. You're leading people home because you're leading people back within. Okay, we also have, that makes a lot of sense. You are a child of the universe. What an honor it is to be a part of something so divine. And I just saw 2828, and didn't I see, wait a minute, this is card 28. This is card 28, and then I just looked up and saw 2828. Wow. If you, maybe some of you guys are 28 or you're gonna be 28 soon, and that's going to be a really significant age for you. Between the ages of 28 and 30 could be important, which is roughly like when you will have your Saturn return. And as well as 22 is here as well. But we saw 2828, and then earlier in the reading we also saw 1010, and 28 reduces to 10. So there's a message of new beginnings and infinite possibilities here. There's also a message of prosperity and possibly like business partnerships or creative partnerships coming your way. But this is definitely also, I feel like this is the home that we're all coming back to. Like, remembering that we're an extension of the universe, remembering that we all have the same level of divinity, and that, this ranking each other and comparing each other, it's very worldly thing. Once you take away the worldly things, we're all the same. Once you dissolve your ego and go within, you remember this truth. Okay, so let's get one more card for our group number 2s. $29. Wow. 28, 29, 30. So late 20s, Saturn return time, it's going to be significant for many of you. I feel like it's a time where you're reevaluating a lot of stuff in your life. And even without the astrological context, I just feel like maybe reaching a new decade of your life just makes you kind of look back and like, have I outgrown this? Am I kind of too mature for this stuff now? Am I maybe looking for something deeper? And then we have trust your intuition. Let me read. I want to read the owl passage from this book. Meditate in silence and in darkness for a few minutes each evening for the next few days and see what is revealed to you. Be alert to any deception on the part of others, whether they're aware of it or not, and look closely behind any guises that they may wear. So it looks like there's some inauthenticity around you, but it's not necessarily from a place of maliciousness. But even if it's not malicious, it doesn't mean that you have to make space for it or keep it in your life. It's like, I feel like, it's just like, I keep getting this message, like you've made space for so many people. Even if their energy doesn't vibe with you, you would say like, oh, but they're not trying to be malicious. Like they're not intentionally doing that. And it's like, it doesn't matter. Like, even if they have good intentions and even if they're a nice person, like you don't have to give them brownie points for that. And that sounds kind of harsh, but it's like, you still have every right to be discerning of what energies you want around you. This is a particularly ripe period to tap into the fount of intuitive wisdom that's available to you. Quietly observe your environment, watching and listening for signs and omens that will give you answers to any questions you may have. Now is a particularly significant time for prophecy, and you will see, hear, or feel events before they actually happen. Your most creative cycle now is the night, so set aside time in the evening to work on any projects. There's a lot of other passages, like different types of owls. I'm not going to read all of them, but if you do feel called to any of them, feel free to pause the video and read them. And panda might be significant as well. Okay, so my group number 2s, these are all the messages I have for you, so I'm going to end your reading here. I want to say thank you very much again to Tarot Stack for partnering with me, and also thank you so much to the creators of these beautiful decks. I love using them together. I think they go together so beautifully. They're both so gorgeous, and they both have the gold detail, and I love them so much. If you guys enjoyed these decks as well, both the fall bundle and the individual decks will be linked down below. And I want to say thank you so much for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. And if you guys enjoy my content and you would like to find me elsewhere, I'm also on Instagram. I post readings on there as well. I'm on Patreon, where I post exclusive pick a card readings every month, and the topics are chosen by you. I have a music channel. The song that you heard at the very start of this video was an original song, so you can listen to the full version of that song or any of my other original songs. And I also have merch at KINOtarot.com featuring the temple from the intro of this video. We have hoodies, sweatshirts, mugs, and tote bags. So that's all. Thank you guys so much. I'm sending you so much love and lots of love to your spiritual team as well. I truly appreciate your support, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye. Hi, number 3s. So if you guys chose the Celestite, this is going to be your reading. So because we are getting messages from Spirit today, I do want to leave it as open as possible to however Spirit wants to come through and give you these messages. But basically what I have in mind for the reading is that we will start off with the Lucid Dreams Tarot deck and see what it is that Spirit is encouraging you to let go of at this time, and additional information which could include why it's time to let go of this thing, how to let go of it, how your life will change after letting go, and then we will use the Soul Whispers Oracle deck just to get any additional messages and advice that Spirit might want you to have right now. But before we get into it, I do just want to talk a little bit about the 2 decks that we are using today. These 2 decks are part of the KINO Tarot Fall Bundle, which is available on tarotstack.com. And if you guys aren't familiar with Tarot Stack yet, they're an online store that features tarot and oracle decks made by independent creators. I've been partnered with them since the beginning, and it's been such an honor to work with them and to watch them grow. They're such lovely people, and I really love what they stand for, which is not only making these indie decks accessible to us, but supporting the creators. And right now, 50% of Tarot Stack's profits go towards funding indie deck projects. So they help creators print their decks, publish them, market them. I really, really love what they do for the tarot community. I love using the decks from there. If you guys watch my channel, you've definitely seen a lot of them being used. They're all just so wonderful, and I'm so happy to be partnering with them. So if you guys like the decks that are being used in today's video, both the fall bundle as well as these individual decks are going to be linked down below. But without further ado, let's get into your reading. So we're starting off with the Lucid Dreams Tarot deck. And I'm going to take reversals for this part because this deck has different keywords depending on how the cards come out. So we're going to take 3 for now. We'll take a look at the messages, and then we will take 3 more underneath to clarify. What does group number 3 need to let go of right now? Okay, so we have the Knight of Pentacles in reverse, laziness, boring, no initiative, irresponsible, feeling stuck, perfectionism, cheap, dull, risky investment, and gambler. Then we have the Nine of Pentacles in reverse, guarded, workaholic, hustle and grind, jealousy, envy, financial setbacks, living beyond means, and superficiality. And then we have the Empress in the upright, creation of life, abundance, maternal, fertility, divine feminine energy, pregnancy, beauty, sensuality, care and nurturing, and Mother Earth. Okay, so it's pretty clear from these cards that what Spirit is encouraging you to let go of at this time, it has to do with a certain career path or like a certain professional goal that you are either working towards it right now and it hasn't really been progressing in the way that you'd hoped, or you're not working towards it right now but you feel guilty about that. Like you feel like, man, I've left this on the back burner. I need to get up and do something. I need to work towards this goal. It's either like the path itself, yeah, for many of you, I think it's the path itself that Spirit is encouraging you to let go of. For some of you, it might be the mindset that you have towards this path that needs to change. But what I'm seeing for most of you is that what you're pursuing professionally, it's like you think you want it, but you don't really want it. Or you like the idea of doing it, but you don't actually like doing it. It's like you have it in your head that this is something you should want, that this is something you should work towards. But when it comes to what is really in your heart, it's like this is not really your thing. So if I can give a very easy example of this, this would be like someone who comes from a family of lawyers. Like their grandparents are lawyers, their parents are lawyers, everybody went to the same law school. And it's like, they feel this pride from that. So growing up, this person probably had it put into their head the whole time. Like, I want to be a lawyer. I love my family tradition. You know, like they didn't know anything else. It's just something that they accepted. And then maybe they do get into law school and then they're really, really struggling. Like they're not doing well at all. And they start to beat themselves up. They start to say, I'm lazy, I'm stupid, whatever it might be, like I'm not cut out for this. But maybe the truth is just that they're really not passionate about it and they really don't like it. When I look at this, I get the feeling of someone who is judging their own capabilities and judging their own intelligence and their own proficiency very, very harshly. And it's unfair. It's very much like judging a fish on their ability to fly, or judging a bird on their ability to swim, which maybe some birds can swim, but I think you guys know what I mean. It's the feeling of someone not being in their element, and so they're not able to give their 100%, but then they're like hard on themselves for that. Whereas if they just did something that was more in alignment, they would find that they're actually extremely productive, they have extremely good memory, they're extremely ambitious, they're extremely skilled. This is the kind of vibe that I'm getting. I feel like with this laziness here, it's like many of you guys who chose this group have it in your head that like you're lazy, that you're like procrastinating because you don't have any motivation, where I think it's either a lack of passion, or for a smaller number of you, it could be something where you are on the right path. It's just that you're way too much of a perfectionist about it. And then you kind of scare yourself out of trying it all because you put these kind of impossible standards on yourself. And then inevitably get disappointed when you don't meet them. And then you're like, see, I knew it. Like, I knew I couldn't do this. That could be the case for some of you guys. Especially with this workaholic and like hustle and grind message as well. Some of you could be really putting way too, whatever the case is, I feel like this group is putting way too high expectations on themselves. I also feel like for some of you, you need to let go of some kind of material goals. I think there are some of you in this group who have this idea that like you want to be extremely rich and successful or famous or something like that, when actually that is not really in alignment with your heart's desires. The truth might be that you just want to live simply, and you want to live peacefully, and you want to enjoy the best things in life that are free. You want to enjoy your loved ones. You want to enjoy, maybe you want to live in nature. And I'm not saying you can't do both, but I feel like the desire that you feel towards like money and material success, it might be just something that you adopted from society. You know, like you see the hustle culture around you, you see all these people like starting their own businesses and waking up at 5 a.m. and making online courses and becoming millionaires before they're 8 years old. And you might compare yourself to these people, and you might feel like that's something that you really want, and you might strive towards that. But when you really check in with your soul, you're like, you know what? I actually don't really care about making like 7 figures a month. I actually don't care about like wearing designer clothes. I actually find that the chase for those things is very stressful, and I would like to let go of that, and I would like to just live peacefully. And you know, if abundance does come to me, of course I'm going to allow that, but I'm not going to chase it. I'm not going to beat myself up and stress myself out striving for this unrealistic lifestyle. It's like realizing that some things, superficiality, like realizing that you're chasing something that for you personally feels kind of superficial, and we don't really want to pursue these things anymore. With the Empress here, I love that we have the Empress here, because you will absolutely experience abundance in this lifetime, and you will be successful, but it will be your definition of success. And the Empress is here because she is unconditionally loving and unconditionally abundant. And Spirit wants you to know that there's infinite ways to find abundance and to find happiness in this lifetime. And I think a big source of your unhappiness or your dissatisfaction or your anxiety could be that you have this idea in your head that like, this is the only way that I can find success. This is the only way that I can find happiness, that I can create wealth. It's like we're really, really focusing on this one path when this one path might not really be it. Or if we really do pursue this path, we really got to be more gentle with ourselves. We really have to put an end to this perfectionism and this like hustle and grind mindset, because it takes all of the joy out of the journey. And you don't have to fight for abundance, because you already are abundance. It's already all around you. And Spirit is promising that even if you do choose an easier life and choose a more peaceful life, you will prosper. Some of you guys might have the idea of like, I need to work my fingers to the bone and like sleep 1 hour a day. I'm very much exaggerating throughout this reading, which I'm sure you guys can tell, but it's just to get the point across. Like, successful people only sleep 3 hours a day, and successful people don't have hobbies, and successful people need to like go out of their comfort zone and do things that they don't want to do and struggle. Like, you have to pay this price for abundance, and abundance is like air. It's literally everywhere for you if you will just breathe it in. And that's what the Empress is here to remind you of. And you'll be surprised at how much abundance you feel when you let go of the chase for it. So let's take some clarifiers for you guys. What else does group number 3 need to know about their journey? We have the Nine of Swords in the upright. Anxiety, depression, sleepless nights, overthinking, fear, nightmares, paranoia, negativity, isolation, and despair. Then we have the Star in reverse. Lack of faith, loss of hope, despair again, disconnection, depression again, impotence, despondent, negativity. And then we have the Six of Wands. I'm going to take this in the upright. Success, public recognition, achievement, self-confidence, victory, award, triumph, praise, acclaim, pride, and rewards. Okay, I need some water. I always get thirsty in the last pile, and it kind of makes sense because like I've already been talking for quite some time, but I also think it's like a psychological thing where I'm like, ooh, it's the last group. I bet you I'm going to get thirsty, and then I'm thinking about it, and then anyway, it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. But anyway, tangent aside, these two cards together are really powerful, I think. First of all, I think it's really nice, just the order that these have come out. Like, in the first and second columns, we have the more challenging energies, and then we have the blessing energies at the end. So I really think this is Spirit's way of letting you know that in the end, everything is going to be okay. Some of you guys are already on your way out of this challenging energy, and this is Spirit letting you know that the best is yet to come. But if you still find that you're in this energy, I want you to know that there is an end in sight, and that you're not like destined, or you're not doomed to feel this way forever. I feel like some of you, it's like you're in a hamster wheel, where things never get better. I remember, and this was ages ago, I saw this post on social media, and it was like, anybody else keep telling themselves like, I just have to get through this week and then everything will be fine, except you tell yourself that every single week. It's like being stuck in that cycle of just like hustling, of just trying to get by. You know, I only have to be in this stressful phase a little bit longer, but then it keeps happening again and again. I think a lot of you guys, Spirit is calling for you to get out. Some of you need to get out of like a work environment, but you feel like you can't. You don't know what the future holds, and Spirit wants you to know that you will be safe, you will be taken care of, you will be supported. With the Nine of Swords here, it's really clear that this is affecting your mental health. It's like putting a lot of stress on you. You guys might have trouble sleeping because you're always thinking about all of the responsibilities that you have, or all the goals that you've wanted to reach but that you haven't yet. You might be quite hard on yourself, like we talked about before. You could also have stress dreams. I had a lot of stress dreams about school until recently, and then they stopped and they actually started again. But I used to have a lot of stress dreams about like old jobs that I had where like I was messing everything up. So you guys could be going through something like that as well. and just really like afraid of what the future holds, like afraid of what would happen if you do let go of this path. And I also think that isolation and disconnection are very telling as well. I think that some of you guys might feel like you don't know who to talk to when it comes to this, like in the example of the lawyer person, maybe this is them, you know, they're really struggling in school, they're really, you know, scared of what the future holds because they think like, if this doesn't work out for me, then that's it for me. Maybe they have stress dreams about school all the time, but maybe they feel really alone in this. Like they can't tell their family because their whole family is lawyers, and I'm not saying this is true, this is just their like paranoia, but they might feel like if they tell their family won't understand or will even be upset at them. Maybe they feel like they can't talk to their friends and classmates because everyone seems like they're having the best time and they won't get it either. There's this feeling of like, I feel like I'm going through this alone, and it's scary. Same with the star here, like with disconnection. And we have the mention of depression twice. We have anxiety here. I feel like this is really something that could be weighing on you guys mentally. And Spirit wants you to know that you deserve to be free. I keep wanting to tell you guys that you're not doomed to live a life like this, and that things can get better. You can either change your path, or you can keep going on the path that you're passionate about with more kindness towards yourself and with less pressure on yourself. But you are not powerless. You are not powerless to this situation. And I feel it's like there's this cloud hanging over you, and once you get out of the situation, you will like immediately feel better and be like, I'm imagining, you know, the Dementors in Harry Potter, when they're like sucking your soul out, they say you feel like you'll never be happy again. But then once you're out of that situation, you recovered, you can look back and be like, oh my gosh, that feeling was so scary. I never want to feel like that again. And I feel like immediately once you get out of this tough situation, you'll start to feel like yourself again, and you'll be like, oh my gosh, that was so scary. Like, I thought that there was no way out for me. I thought that there was no future. The way that you're feeling right now, one day you'll be able to look back and be like, oh my gosh, I never want to feel like that again. That was awful. And move on from it, as if you were just in a weird state, like you were under a spell or there was a cloud hanging over you. But like, this is not you. You are not destined to this. You can free yourself. You can get out of this mindset. You can feel like yourself again. There is hope. I want to turn this around and let you know that there is hope. Hope, renewal, miracles, rejuvenation, faith, North Star, purpose, spirituality, inspiration, positivity, healing, and inner clarity. I also want to tell you guys, some advice coming through is to have the vulnerability and sincerity to ask for help. Even if you feel like you can't ask people for help, you can ask your angels for help. And I think that you're being encouraged to just honestly, like, even like to go on your knees or whatever feels comfortable, and to ask your angels for help, to ask them for a miracle. Like, I'm lost, I need you right now. It's okay to be vulnerable like that. You don't need to feel guilty about having these negative emotions or try to force yourself to be positive. I feel like acknowledging the crap that you're going through is like the first step to feeling better, to like admitting that this sucks. I want this to change. And I feel like a lot of you guys in this situation, it's like you feel like you're weak and you want to be able to push through it. And Spirit's saying you don't have to push through it. Like, you can admit that it sucks and that you want something different, and you can ask your angels for something different. You can ask them for answers. You can ask them for a miracle, and they will answer you. And with all of these cards, Spirit wants you to know the success and the happiness that is waiting for you. I think a lot of you guys, and this has been a common theme throughout all of the groups, like you're destined for something much bigger than what you realize. And I feel like for this group, with the Empress, the Star, the Six of Wands, abundance is really first of all, abundance is your birthright, but I also think that many of you will thrive in like a leader position, or you will be very well known. You might go about it in an unconventional way, but I think that you will find your success off the beaten path. And no, you won't find it. It will find you. It will come to you under strange circumstances, through a synchronistic series of events that will happen when you just let go and sincerely ask for help and let Spirit and let your angels just take the wheel and guide you. But this Six of Wands, this victory is what's waiting for you. And I also love that we have the Six of Wands here, because it often shows me that the people in your life, they just want you to be happy and they're proud of you no matter what. And the Nine of Swords often shows fears that are not necessarily based in reality. So I think that for many of you who are feeling like, I can't tell people about this, for example, I can't tell my parents that I don't like it at law school, or like, I can't tell my friends that I don't want to do this anymore, they won't understand, or they'll be disappointed, or whatever it is that your mind is telling you. That's not going to be the case at all with the Six of Wands here. Whatever, like, you're going to be received with so much compassion, and I really want you guys to know that your loved ones and the people around you are going to be so proud no matter what choice you make. Even if this is like, I don't know, telling your boss that you want to quit, or telling your teacher that you want to drop out, and you have this image of them being like, why are you going to do that? But you had so much potential here. Like, are you sure? You feel like they're going to do that when they're actually going to say like, I'm really happy for you, and I wish you all the best, and I know you're going to do amazing things. And it's like, I can almost see some of you being emotional because you thought that coming clean about this was going to make people like upset or think less of you, when in reality they just flood you with support. It's actually, I can kind of relate to this. Like, sometimes when I like need to take a break, I'm so scared because I'm like, oh, people are going to be upset that like I'm not posting as consistently, but I really get nothing but love and support, and oh, it's so sweet. I'm really, really grateful for you guys and like all of the kindness and understanding that you give me, and I want you guys to feel the same way from the people around you. Like, you deserve and you do have that same support. So with that, you guessed it, we're drinking water again. And now we're gonna get some cards from the Soul Whispers deck. And let's see what else Spirit wants you to know. Ooh, we have the number 11. And I love this message for you guys. You are safe to make mistakes. You are safe to be imperfect. You are safe. We have the number 11, which could be indicative of new beginnings, taking a risk, manifesting, having more confidence in yourself, being bold to choose a new path. Also destiny, the blessings that you guys are destined for. What else do we have? We have the number 21. What I'm thinking with this is that the number 21 is the World card in tarot, which has to do with completion of a cycle. It also has to do with expansion, accomplishments, being admired. I feel like you guys are so highly admired, and you might not realize this, but the people in your life think that you are so amazing. They think that you're so talented, smart, kind, capable. I'm getting the feeling that you guys don't hear it enough. Or people don't really tell you, because it's not every day that someone's just like, hey, group 3, I think you're really freaking amazing. But they are thinking it. They are thinking it. I think you guys have a lot of admirers, including secret admirers. And this choice does not change that. And I'm not saying that what people think of you is so super important, but I do think that for many in this group, it's something that you do worry about. And I do think it's important that you know that this choice that you make, it's not going to change how anybody sees you. I feel like you guys think if you let go of this path, like people will think you're lazy, or they'll be disappointed, or like you're not going to reach your full potential, or like this is not a good decision, but people only care about you and your happiness. At the end of the day, people only want you to be happy. So if you're honest about what it is that you truly want, they're just going to be happy for you that you made that discovery and support you in whatever it is that you're doing in this next chapter. You would be surprised. You would be overwhelmed at the amount of support that you feel if you were to open up. But the first step to that is acknowledging that you're not happy in this situation. Oh, I didn't even read the... Oh, it says you came from the stars, so shine bright. Some of you guys might resonate a lot with starseed energy as well. Which, in that case, it would make sense that you find that you don't really fit into unconventional roles, you don't really fit into conventional roles, conventional careers, conventional human desires, worldly desires. You want something more than that. Oh, and we even literally have the star here. So the starseed energy is pretty strong. And you guys even chose Celestite, which, if I'm not mistaken, Celeste means stars, like celestial bodies. Celeste is such a pretty name as well. Okay, oh, we have listen to your spirit guides. They'll show you the way. And we have the number 23. Some of you guys might be in your early 20s, like between the ages of 21 to 23, or the path that you're leaving behind maybe was between like the years 2021 and 2023. Obviously it's not 2023 yet when this is being released, but maybe that's the year that you'll finally let go. These could also be dates like November 21st, November 23rd. Whales could also be very significant to this group. The spirit animal of the whale could be your spirit guide. And there could also be some tie to your star origins with whales. Let me see if there is a whale. Yes. Is this, I don't know what kind of whale that is. I'm just gonna read this passage. Express yourself through your voice by singing, humming, or chanting, simply for the pure joy of doing so. It's an especially creative time for you, so immerse yourself in the process and enjoy the artistic expression of whatever emerges from the depths of your imagination. This is a time of great spiritual expansion for you, so the more you can clear your mind, such as through regular meditation, the better. You'll soon discover an increasing interest in esoteric information about the origins of life here on Earth. Yeah, there's something about your soul wants you to learn about your origins. You've been so occupied with creative and artistic projects that you're out of balance and need to step away by playing, socializing, or otherwise distracting yourself for a while. Conserve your energy and physically insulate yourself by surrounding yourself with a curtain of blue or white light. So there's a few other variations of the whale passage. I won't read all of them, but if you guys do feel called to read them, I'll just hold up the pages for you, and then feel free to pause them and read it if you like. Okay, so finally, let's get one last oracle card for my group number 3s. And we have the number 31. Interesting. There's like 11, so like 1 1 2 1 3 1. And November 31st is not a date, so never mind. But November 21st, 22nd, 23rd could be significant. And we have show up as your highest self, which is such a beautiful message to end the reading with. This card gives me High Priestess energy when it comes out, because I just associate tigers with the High Priestess. Actually, is there? But I feel like it's really time for you guys to get more into your feminine energy, more into a gentle, receptive energy where we're creating our future rather than trying to fit ourselves into boxes. We're not saying like, this is what my future has to look like, and now I need to mold myself to fit in that box. We're saying, I'm going to create my dream life and dream self right here, right now, and let my future unfold naturally. Okay, here is the tiger. Remain focused, be very patient, and you'll soon receive a surprise that will help you achieve your goal more quickly than expected. You'll soon find a way of healing from a physical condition or an emotional disturbance very quickly, followed by a noticeable increase in vitality. And that's it. I feel like something would change in your life and immediately you start to feel better physically and mentally, because it's like a cloud that was hanging over you is gone. Create a sacred space in your home that is completely yours, one where others may enter only with your permission, and take the time to enjoy the solitude in this space. You'll soon be experiencing a surge of passion and power that will remain with you for some time. Get ready for a new adventure, one that may present some challenges, but will introduce dramatic changes into your life. And then there's also a Siberian tiger message. You'll be taking a long journey soon, one that will be refreshing and restorative. Make it a point to enjoy your sensuality and do a lot more touching. Okay, so group number 3, those are all the messages I have for you. So I'm going to end your reading here. I want to say thank you so much once again to Tarot Stack for allowing me to create this fall bundle with them. And also thank you so much to the creators of these amazing decks. I love them separately. I love them together. They go so well together. I love how the gold detail matches, and they just feel so gentle and warm and cozy, and it's been such a pleasure to use them. If you guys do like these decks, both the fall bundle as well as the individual decks will be linked down below. But I also want to say thank you guys so much for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. And if you enjoy my content, you can also find me on Instagram. I post readings there too. I'm also on Patreon, where I post exclusive pick a card readings where you get to choose the topic. I also have a music channel. The song that you guys heard at the very start of this video was an original song, so if you're interested in listening to the full version of that song or any of my other ones, the music channel will be linked down below. And I also have merch available at KINOtarot.com, which features the floating temple that's at the beginning of this video. We have hoodies, sweatshirts, tote bags, and mugs. So all of that, all of my links are going to be down below in the description and the pinned comment for you. But group number 3s, I'm sending you guys so much love to your spiritual team as well, and to all of your loved ones who I know just love you so much and just want the best for you. And Spirit wants you to be more vulnerable with them. Thank you so much once again for being here. I truly appreciate your support, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.